So I've just added a little bit more of this path texture onto the terrain so that it goes all the way up to this well, and then obviously some grass around the well. Okay, so I just want to add a few more details. So I want to find some of these trees, not the really big one, but the smaller tree. Oh yeah, it doesn't show up anymore for some reason. Pine tree double. Just want a few more of these kind of hanging around. Oh, that's a bit too close to the house. So maybe something like this should be good. Maybe a tree up here as well. I would also like maybe a big stone going on here. So I think I'll take this one, the P Ancient Ruins. Oh, it's tiny. Okay, I want it a bit bigger than that. Let's try this one. That's a bit better. Okay. And in fact, I might actually make it even bigger actually, so I'm just going to scale that up. Oh, I'm scaling on one of the axes there, Control and Z. Make sure it's on that white block. There we go. Might just even kind of rotate that a little bit. Then push it back down into the ground. Okay. Yep, that's interesting. We've also got our flowers as well, haven't we? So we could put a few of these around. Okay, let's see what else we've got. We've also got these bushes as well that we can use, so let's just put a few of these in. Okay, and what else do we have? Maybe just a couple of mushrooms here and there. Now you will be able to collect these mushrooms, so that will be good. Then we've also got these interesting rocks as well that come in absolutely tiny. So let's make this about 20. Nope, 20 is too much. 10 by 10 by 10. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. And the idea is that I want to kind of block the passageway to this side of the map. I want it so that you have to go all the way around the map to get to that side. So what I'm planning on doing here is basically having a bit of a forest. So first thing that I need to do is on my island is ensure that I create a new texture. This texture is going to be using the grass light. Okay, so just click on island, and I want to create a new layer. It's going to be called grass light. Okay, which is, there's grass 1. Light, there it is, grass light. Okay, so, and I believe that there's also a normal map attached to this as well. So grass 0, 1 normal. Okay, so we can use that. So for this one, I want to set my brush size pretty big and my opacity size pretty high as well. So I'm effectively going to be painting a lot of this kind of grass where the forest is going to be, so it's meant to be like really kind of thick grass. Okay, so what I want to do now is change the size of the tiling to about 8 by 8, maybe a little less, 6 by 6, That's fine. And then my normal amount, I might make this about 1.5, so it kind of sticks out a little bit more. So that's meant to be quite kind of overgrown grass. Now, in the main prefabs, where we have our pine tree double, I actually want to paint this onto the terrain this time. So on Island, in Inspector, we have an option to actually paint trees. So we can choose Add a Tree, and then we can just drag our pine tree double directly into that slot, okay, and click Add, so that now, as long as we've got this selected, we can now paint on there. Now my brush size is way too big at the moment. This looks okay. Now my tree density is going to be way too much as well. Need to bring this down a little bit now as I click and drag. Maybe bump this up a little bit more. Getting a few trees coming out. Maybe my density needs to come up a little bit more. Yeah, density needs to come way up, I think. There we go. So we've effectively got ourselves now a nice bit of forest, okay, going on there. So you know that you can't pass through there. Now I might put a big rock here to prevent anybody from going in there. So let's find a really good kind of rock. I might use one of these really big ancient ruin rocks again. This one's more of a kind of a rune rock. It's got some runes on it, which is pretty interesting. So on this one, I'm just going to make the size a bit bigger. I'm going to go about 5 by 5 by 5. So it's, oh, actually that's way too big. It looks weird. Let's try 2.5 by 2.5 by 2.5. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's kind of bigger than the house. Just going to have that kind of maybe a little bit tilted. And then I'm going to duplicate that one, just put another one on this side here like this, and I'm going to kind of rotate that one a little bit this way. Maybe just push it a little bit on that way as well. Okay, so that will effectively prevent the character from being able to get through there. In this space at the back here, I might just put bit of grass. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Maybe also a rock as well. Well, that comes in huge, doesn't it? Oh, I've got rock one small actually. Maybe I should use that. That's a bit better. Maybe just scale that up a little bit, and then Control D to duplicate and have like another one over here. Okay, yep, so I think that's fine. All right, now you will see this happening where you see the trees kind of appearing and disappearing, and that's what happens when you paint trees onto a terrain. It all depends on how far away you are from the terrain. So as I get really far away, they all disappear. And this is defined by our settings. It's defined by number 1, the detail distance, number 2, the tree distance, max mesh trees, billboard start, and fade length. So if I make my max trees, if I increase that a bit, let's say to about 400, should have a lot more trees. And if I take my detail density and make it like say 200, now you can see almost like a fading effect going on, which is interesting. So this fade length, let's just make this billboard start, let's just push this way up to maybe 500, and what you're going to see now is that the trees remain there no matter what I do. Okay, obviously there we go, there they disappear, so that I might not want it to stay on that much. Let's do 200. Okay, yeah, alright, I think that's fine. Alright, so we're getting a nice bit of detail going on. What we'll do in the next video is start to take a look at this area around here. Now what I'm thinking about this area is potentially there might be an opportunity for some like combat or a battle, and whenever you get that, you generally want to leave nice open areas. You don't want it to be too cluttered, so that's what we'll look at in the next video.